Hello, everybody. I'm Rollin Jay Moore, and today I am snacking and yakking with Big Ben Kennedy.
That's right. Already snacking over here is Mr. Rollin Jay Moore. He is a comedian friend of mine. I don't believe we've gotten a chance to work with each other, but we know each other. We've seen each other around. And today, he and I are going to snack on his favorite snack, which is Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
I always ask my guest, what's your favorite snack? And he said, man, Cheez-Its.
Love me some Cheez-Its.
Done, dude. I can buy a crate of those, man. It ain't pralines.
You know why I like Cheez-Its so much? Because you can eat Cheez-Its, and if you want some more later, you just go, oh.
Right, they are famous.
Yeah.
Them and Oreos. Man.
Oreos. Oh,
Oreos,
yes.
you'll find them later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, though. I guess it's
store
something
it
in
for
the...
like a squirrel.
the baking
away.
soda or the baking
Yes,
powder, something about that kind
That's
of type
right.
of snack. They definitely, Cheetos, they find their way up into your...
They hang
up
around.
into your teeth. They stick
hang
around.
Yes, sir.
So, man, it's a pleasure to finally, I guess, perform with you in a way. At
I
least
think
on
we've
this show.
we've like passed each other a lot, but we've never.
Yeah, I mean, I recently saw you. I was doing a show for, I'll plug him, Tony Kemp, Chase Simpson, had a
Yes,
great
sir.
room up in Ladson, South Carolina, and I said, Mr. Jay Moore, I said, I don't believe I've met you. He said, I believe we have. That's what you said. He said, I think we have. And I was like, really?
Well, when you do this long enough and you go to so many locations, you travel all the time. Like, I can't tell you how many times I went to a club and I said, oh, this is my first time at this club. And then I walked in and went, oh, I've been here several times. But because you just get them all,
Oh, yeah.
So same thing with humans. Like
Right.
I feel like I'm meeting someone the first time and I go, no, I've met him before. And it's just, you cross paths,
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I said, well, then I'm going to take your word for it,
Yeah.
and then I got ready for my show. So I thought that was pretty funny. But as soon as when I was having this podcast and trying to snag any local comedians, I immediately knew you being local to here, even though you're out a lot. I mean, yesterday you were just where?
Alaska. Just flew back. I mean, born and raised here, lived in California for 6 years.
Okay.
Lived out there, and but from here, came back here, and this is home.
There you go, man. Born and raised. Let me get one of these after this. Born and raised. Nice.
This guy's wasting Cheez-Its over here, man. Things are expensive.
Born and raised Baltimore, Maryland. Grew up Glen Burnie, straight out of Glen Burnie.
Never heard of it.
I know.
I heard of Baltimore, but
yeah, this is just it's
Charm City is what they call
Charm
Baltimore.
City. That's right. It's
Number one in carjacking.
It has to have charm.
Number one in
If it doesn't
carjacking
have
in the
charm,
world.
you'll recognize all the rest.
Yeah.
Like so. Oh, it's a charming place,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
really nice. It's
Right.
like saying North Charleston's very charming.
Yeah.
No,
Who says that?
Right, exactly. But then I lived there. I was born and raised 30 years. Like right after my 30th birthday, I came down here because I got married to I got married to a native to
I
here,
got you.
and then snagged her up north for about 5 years, and then we
So
moved down here after
you
he
got
was
married
born.
to get your Southern card.
Well, okay. Yankee, 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 Yankee. Everybody
Yeah.
calling me a Yankee the
Yeah.
whole time I came down here. But then somebody had told me, they said, so what brought you down here? And I said, well, my father-in-law's of advanced years. He's ailing.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted my son to have a grandfather because I never did. Both of them were dead before I was born.
Right.
So I thought, man, I really want him to have a grandfather for a
Yeah.
while. I have that time.
That's good.
So I wanted Carrie. Every time we get a call about dad's sick, dad's in the hospital, she would be a wreck.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and then we're going to get that one call where now we got to take that long drive down 95,
There you go.
knowing that we'll never see him again or
Of
that
course.
he's already gone.
Right.
And so I just said, well, let me move her back home because
Yeah.
I can live anywhere, So I said, okay. So I move her back home, and somebody said, so you brought your wife home to be with her family. Then you took a job as an EMT, later paramedic. So you're serving the community, and you did, and they were like, well, you're honorary now, man. You're a Southerner all the way.
Yeah.
Because they were like, you just have those values. And I said, yeah, I mean, I still miss the city
Yeah.
and Major League Sports.
Right.
And,
Yeah, we don't have much of that here.
No, even though the River Dogs, we were just there.
Yeah.
We're about to be there in a couple of weeks. The River Dogs farm club for, I guess, who they farm club for now?
Yankees, I thought? I don't know.
Boo. Hiss. As an Orioles fan, that pisses me off. But, but no, I thought they were the Royals for a long time. I think it was when they were the Rainbows, maybe.
Oh, you're going way back now.
Yeah,
The
and then
Rainbows, yeah.
And then, yeah.
The old stadium.
So it might be the
yeah.
Yankees. It very well might be. But
Yeah.
we like the Rainbows. And actually, with that little breezeway they got with the little,
Mhm.
it's reminiscent of the warehouse, Utah Street, Camden Yards.
Yeah.
So it reminds me a bit of home, but not,
I got
So
you.
I miss stadiums. I miss the Ravens and the Orioles and all that stuff. But it's all right.
I guess the closest thing here would be Charlotte with the
and a lot of people
Panthers
said before they came to town, before they got a team, as it were, but they still call it North Carolina. Nobody down here really, they follow it, but there's not our team. It's North Carolina's team.
Yeah. Carolina.
Yeah, they followed the Falcons because the Braves.
Well,
that's their
why.
baseball
That's
team.
why the Panthers don't go by the North Carolina Panthers; they go by the Carolina Panthers.
Right, they were trying to be for both.
Right.
Well,
more money. You know?
You're correct there, and so so that was the thing. Was I found it funny. They were like, well, I was a Steelers fan because we didn't have a team, and I was this because we didn't have a team. I was just talking about it with a guy the other day, and because he was wearing Commanders stuff, but it wasn't Commanders, it was Redskins. He was like, I'm holding on to the old shit.
I'm old school, believe me.
Yeah, I'm holding on
to
it.
When you said Commanders, I didn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I said, they're the Commanders now, and then they were Washington football team for like a few years. But I kind of begrudgingly was a fan of them after the Colts left.
Okay.
So when I started getting into football, they left when I was like a kid, like I was maybe 5. So when I started getting into football as like a teenager, I pretty much had the Redskins. And they had done that run. They beat the Giants. Or no, beat the Bills.
I was a Skins fan back in the day when Billy Kilmer, remember him? I'm going way back. 70s, 80s. Late 70s, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't know nothing about them then. I mean, I wouldn't.
Sorry, I'm a little bit older than you,
I remember when my team was like Butts. That's when I started getting into them. And then I think Mark Rippon was the quarterback for the... So they had the Super Bowl run. They were like either the first team or the second team. I think they might have been the first team who beat the 4 times Bills. So it's them and the Giants and then the Cowboys twice. So that kind of, we all jumped on it.
I remember when O.J. Simpson played for the Bills. That's how old I am.
Yeah, man.
Classic. Yeah.
You excited for the new Naked Gun with Liam Neeson?
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I mean, those movies are all classic.
Oh, yeah. It's McFarlane.
They're so stupid. What makes it so good.
Yeah.
It's like, I think when they first started those movies, that whole franchise, they said, we're going to be as dumb as we can possibly be, and it's going to be great. And that's exactly what it is.
Man, you and I have no problem rolling through subjects. I really like this. So
yeah, there's no segues in anything.
So now the Rollin Jay Moore.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Is that's not to get away from other Jay Moore?
That's exactly.
When
I moved out to California, wow, many years now, before my son was born, so we're talking 20-something years ago, I met Jay Moore at the Laugh Factory, and, I had an agent out there, and the first thing they said was, well, you got to change your name. This is Jay Moore. And I said, but he's M-O-H-R.
Yeah.
And I'm M-O-O-R-E, so it doesn't matter. The sound, Jay Moore.
Right.
Long story short, my real name is Joseph Roland, R-O-L-A-N-D Moore.
Okay.
But I've been Jay all my life. So at first I was Rollin Jay Moore. I wanted to keep the Jay Moore, but we had to,
Right.
And then some agent said, why don't we call you Rollin, R-O-L-L-I-N, for whatever reason. Yeah, that's what people think. And I said, all right, whatever. And it just stuck. So I've been Rollin Jay Moore ever since.
Amen.
Because of Jay Moore. And I met him when I first moved out there and told him the whole story. And he's like, oh,
So you have an intro song?
What's that?
I said you have an intro song when you go up. If it ain't rawhide, like rolling.
Every now and then a club will do that. They catch on. They go, all right, we got your music.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the Rollin Jay Moore part.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I mean, I assumed it was Jay Moore.
Right.
Even though, like I said, I think he's like, it's like an open, it's like more, not more. Or maybe it is, but I thought it was more.
Well,
like,
whenever
it's got like an open sound.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think yours would be more.
Yeah. More. Oh, when I work on the cruise ships, there's a lot of the guys that bring me up.
Talk about that.
A lot of the cruise directors. This guy from Scotland, and for some reason from Scotland, when he says more, it's moo. He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Rollin Jay Moore," and I'm like, "Well, you sound like a cow." It's more. Yeah, that's Scottish accent. I love it.
So you are a cruise ship comedian. I actually
No. Never say that.
So you've performed on cruise ships.
I'm a comedian who works on cruise ships.
Got you. Okay, yes.
Not a cruise ship comedian.
I do have comedians who I know frequent those cruise ships. I do know a few.
It's where the money is. Money's good.
I mean,
and,
yeah. But you play them quite often, and particularly, I think, your Princess cruises, right?
Princess.
That's the old Love Boat cruise?
That's exactly it. The original Love Boat episode was the Pacific Princess, I think. One of those, so. Yeah. An old ship, yeah.
Man, that's cool. You ever have an incident on stage where it pitches, where like it kind of moves and you kind of got to roll
All
with
the
it,
time.
or like the whole audience just kind of shifts and you.
I've done shows where like the stool will fall over. I mean, really bad.
Wow.
Like when it gets really rough, they won't do any other shows. Like the production singers, the dancers, they won't let them work because they'll get hurt.
Right.
They go put the comic out there. So if he breaks a leg, whatever, that's part of showbiz.
Right,
yeah.
break a leg is what we tell him before he
So
goes out there. So
I've seen some rough seas out there. Hurricane Sandy
no joke.
sailed out of New York. The ship had to like go around the swells, but those swells push out like for miles and miles. We had like 30-foot seas. It was crazy.
True,
It was bad.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
I'm not a
Storm,
fan of that.
Like Perfect Storm, you see that shelf of a wave. You're like, here
Well,
we
the
go.
worst- the
Here we
worst-
go, Clooney and Wahlberg.
The worst is when you're sitting in your cabin and you look out the window and you see blue sky, then you see ocean, then you see blue sky, then you see ocean. It's like, oh, you talk about spitting up your Cheez-Its, it gets bad.
Now the cruise ship comedians, from what I've been told, they're like in like
No.
the low. No,
Not
really,
not true. Maybe some chips, but
Right.
I get a nice cabin. I'm good, man.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because the one said
I have
that
to share it with like a Vietnamese family, but other than that, it's not bad.
they said that he said that the one that they use, he said it's down there, like with the cooks and stuff, like it's down there. But he said
That might be Carnival.
it has. I think he did ride Carnival because he had stopped here in Charleston.
Yeah.
When we had the port, now
Right.
it's gone. They don't stop here anymore. But he had to stay down there. He said, but it was neat because it had its own bar down there, like
Oh, the crew
service
bar.
worker.
They got a crew bar.
Yeah, crew bar, and he
it's
said
dirt cheap.
It get dirt cheap, and it gets pretty fun. He said they get a little wild at
We
times.
get the best of both worlds. Like we're passengers on the ship, but we can get the crew privileges. Now you go to the
Gotcha.
crew bar. Like I don't know if you drink alcohol, but I do.
I do.
I drink a crew bar vodka drink is probably $1.60.
Oh my God! Well, duty free.
And if you go
and-
upstairs to where the passengers are, that same drink is about $9.
Yep.
So
I've never been on.
I'm not a mathematician, but
I've never been on a cruise yet. I'm taking my first cruise in February.
oh yeah, where are you going?
I'm taking the Jay and Silent Bob cruise askew. The
Oh, that'd be
Clerks
cool.
movies,
Yeah.
The Clerks and Mallrats, all that stuff. I'm taking that cruise for my first cruise, and it's like that charter bus. It's like that party bus.
Mhm.
It runs back and forth from Tampa to Mexico, but it's always something new. Like Nate Bargatze's
Yeah.
cruise is on that,
Okay.
and then the Comic-Con at Sea and
Right.
the 90s cruise where Vanilla Ice is going to play. Like, it's always that
They have a lot
kinda-
of theme cruises, and I heard they're a lot of fun. I've never done one of those.
It's like
but,
each
yeah.
month or like every 3 weeks there's a new one. It's like
Correct.
they get the boat back, they clean it, they do all this stuff, and then it's a new batch
Yeah.
of. But aside from the drinks, food all inclusive, all that stuff,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
It seemed like it's going to be a great fun time. You're
Well,
with
That's it.
with a lot of similar fans that
Yeah.
you like, and also I'm a big fan of that. I've met Kevin Smith. I've talked with him. He's so super nice. When he comes through town, I'm going to get his ass in that chair.
In this chair.
100%.
After me, though. I'm here right now.
Well,
though.
yeah. I'll be like, hey, Kev, did you know that Rollin Jay Moore
He'll go,
sat right there? No.
because this is show number 2, right?
This is the second episode. I originally had you,
You
for the
told me I was
first.
going to be number 1. I just want you to know that.
I did. Now,
That's all right.
the number, like I told you before we started rolling, Andy had come into town for a show,
Right.
and I checked his schedule, and I couldn't even see when he would be back in this area. So I was just like, I could ask him to come down. He's in North Carolina.
Mhm.
Could ask him to come down and talk to me, but I was like, let me snag him when he's like 40 minutes
Yeah, yeah.
away,
You gotta do
and
it.
so
I get it.
I
My
did.
feelings are, I'm okay. I'll be fine.
So in the quarters, back to being on the cruise ship as
Yeah.
a comedian. In the
quarters.
quarters, the quarters.
That's an old term. Where are your quarters?
In the
that
galley,
just sounds so old.
down in the galley.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Where are your
servers' quarters.
What?
He said that the comics all typically share the same room. It's kind of like how
Yeah.
it's like
they
their
have-
rooms.
They have rooms that are just for the comics,
Right.
and you come and go. When I go in that room, another comic just left. And when I leave, another one will be coming in. Same room.
Now,
So they get kind of nasty.
you,
Comics, yes.
not me, not.
Yeah.
But he said those sinks are stained with a lot of hair dye. He said everybody's dyeing their hair.
The funny thing about the quarters for the comics is that the rooms are beat up, and they don't put a lot of effort into fixing it up because they know the comics and whatever. It's not a room that the paying customers are going to have.
Right.
So I worked on a ship the other day and it was so old. I hadn't been on that ship. It was like the first ship I worked on, and I want to say it was over 20 years ago.
Ooh.
And I went in that cabinet and I saw a stain on the floor that I'm pretty sure I put on that. 20 years later, I'm like, they haven't changed the carpet yet. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I remember the hotels from my time in traveling comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of been sticking a little local. I gave it up. I came off the road.
The road, man.
When the kids started,
Right.
But I still will get out there every now and again. I'll take a trip. I'll go out and do a show, and I look forward to getting out there more. My son, he's now in college, and then my daughter, she's 9, and she's not as, she doesn't, I guess, miss me too much. She's really a in the moment social butterfly kind of, so
Right.
she can play with her friends, and then I'll come back and she's like, "Oh, you're back!" Like she really didn't even know I was
My
gone.
kids same way when I used to do the road. They don't, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing about the road is it's hard to do the road nowadays because the comedy clubs don't want to pay any more money. They want to pay the same money they paid in the 80s.
Yep.
But the price of gas, the cost of food, everything else is so much more expensive that it's hard to get in a car and drive 8 hours for the money they give you now. It's almost
When I was
I'm
young,
not doing that.
when I was in my 20s, I always thought, man, that's so cool because I would make like $100 for like a feature set
Yeah.
for like 20 minutes. I'm like, I make $5
Big
a
money,
minute,
baby.
right?
Yeah.
$5 a minute. But when you factor in the gas to get there and
When
all
I
that
used
stuff,
to do it, it was 89 cents a gallon for gas. So
see, when I did it, I think we were over 2
Yeah.
or something like that. So it was like then sometimes the family, they'd be like, well,
Yeah.
we want to come too, and then that pay's just gone. Like I did a weekend worth of shows, and
Yeah.
that's that.
Yeah,
Feed them, feed me, take them to some place during the day, and we barely broke even.
right.
You know,
don't those road gigs, you don't make money. That's just a vacation. is what
Right? Yeah, those kinds of the ones with considerable travel.
Yeah.
So it was like I played 11 states the year my son was born, and this was like in 2006.
Yeah.
And then the next year I played 8. And then the next year I kind of just stuck to 5, like the Mid-Atlantic.
Start shrinking.
Started seeing it like kind of pack in because I didn't want to be
And now
away
you
from
won't go,
home.
but from here to North Tulsa, maybe.
Right. Now Ladson's as far as I'll
Yeah.
go. No, I'm-
The road.
right.
North Tulsa.
Yeah, I'll go up 26.
Yeah.
But that was the thing, like being down here, that's rougher to do. In Maryland, I could go 2 hours in any direction. I'm in Pennsylvania, I'm in West Virginia, I'm in Virginia, I'm in
That's
Delaware.
a
I'm in-
busy area, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it was able to like really play a lot of places, DC, but down here, man.
Well, when I started comedy, Florida had more comedy clubs than any other state. So you could go to Florida literally for 2 months and just keep working clubs. They were all over.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere. They had so many clubs. They still might. I don't know.
One of the kids I knew growing up in comedy, his name was Eric Myers.
Mhm.
He recently passed away in an accident.
Oh.
Well, not recently, it's been years,
Yeah.
but he was young, up and coming. I think I was hosting the open mics at Winchester's Comedy Club in Baltimore, Maryland. I introduced this kid for the first time, and he was touring, he did really great. He was one of those forces to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Like, you never wanted to follow him
Right.
because
I know guys like that.
oh
to
my
this day,
God,
I go,
he was incredible.
Yeah, but they that's what makes you good.
But here's the thing. He was not cocky
Mhm.
about it. You know,
Well, that's
he
good.
was just like, so, but the kid,
Nothing worse than a cocky guy.
yeah, the kid had his demons with the bottle and with the stuff like that. So you kind of
Welcome
wondered,
to the road life.
yeah, you
of a
kind of
comedian.
wondered when he was going to burn out. And
That's
then,
kind of
kinda
hand
did.
in hand. That's par
Yeah.
for the course. Yeah.
but he was a funny dude. And I remember taking a lot of road trips with him in the beginning,
Mhm.
but then he came down, his family lived in Florida. And he went down there, and I mean, he gigged all the time down there because he was also afraid of flying. And he had the ability to play, and that was even in the early 2000s.
I'm not afraid of flying. I'm afraid of crashing.
Correct. It's not.
I
It's
fly all the time.
it's never the
Don't wanna
falling.
crash.
It's the hard stop at the end.
Yes, that's right. The flying's fine. It's the taking off and landing that's tricky, and they'll
Right.
tell you that. That's
The most right.
Yeah.
Once you're in the air,
it's a no-brainer. But that getting off the ground and getting on the ground is kinda,
once you do
that's
that,
the spooky part. Yeah.
I'm a nervous flyer.
Oh, I hate flying.
I didn't take my first flight until I was in my 20s. And of course, my first flight is a Dash 8 de Havilland dual prop. So it's like a 31-seater.
Yeah.
And they, they'll go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And every time that was cutting out, I thought, are they going to come back on? It was rough.
When I fly in Alaska sometimes from the tiny little town to another town, I've been on a plane where it's just me and the pilot.
The skis?
And I'm sitting right next to
water landing.
I'm sitting right next to the pilot. Guy younger than me wearing a ball cap, T-shirt with stains on it. I'm like, good Lord. I just hope he knows what he's doing,
Their Ubers are planes.
Yeah, it's a go-kart. It's a go-kart in the sky is what.
See, now I hadn't been on
one.
one that small, but I was telling Andy I flew on this little boutique air, and it was like a Dodge Grand Caravan with wings, and that was crazy. It was like
Classic.
4 seats in the back. I could see the pilots. There was no doors. There was no bathroom or anything. It was just a small little plane.
That's fine.
And it was just like, man, this is wild.
Mm.
But what's really weird is they don't look out the window. Like a lot of pilots, the window is up here. It's almost like
it looks too high.
right.
Like they're looking
so
at the dashboard.
They can look out, but they're just looking at a control panel.
Because that's right.
And
they're not there for
literally-
sightseeing. They're there for flying,
Right,
and they
right.
everything they
They
have
can
is
look
right here.
out the side if they
Mhm.
need to.
Yeah.
But our perception from the movies of all of them being able to look out this windshield like a car,
They're not looking at anything.
I don't think they're looking at
No.
anything.
No.
Because they have all the
It's got to be
instruments that
very
tell
boring
them.
for the pilot.
Yeah.
He's looking at
He's
instruments
just
the
sitting here
entire time.
pulling levers and hitting switches, and
Uh-huh.
it's weird, man. Weird to think.
But thank God we have it because I don't want to drive to Alaska.
Well, and my son, who is our producer, every time I say my son, I keep pointing in this direction. Hey, Bug.
He's over there.
Yeah. So he said, well, you got to keep in mind, he's a psychology major, right?
Oh goodness.
Which is really neat because he'll be able to prescribe my meds. I can stop going to these doctors. But he has this thing where he's so incredibly like pragmatic and just he's very chill. He's the opposite of me. And
he's right over there.
Yeah,
You're talking like he's out of town or something.
right.
He's over there looking at you as you're telling their story.
Right. So, but he said, "Hey, man, you got to keep this in mind, man. The plane, the pilot didn't go up in the air to crash today." And I said, that's
I'm
a
sure he
thought,
wants
man.
to land just like we do.
Correct.
Yeah,
He's going to go home and see his family. So you really got to just put faith in a guy who knows exactly what he's doing.
Well,
barring any.
That's like a
mechanical
doctor.
mishaps.
That's like a doctor. We go in there for whatever procedure, and we pray that he knows what he's doing. He's good at this, and I'm gonna let him do his thing. Same thing with a pilot.
Right.
You have to hope he knows what he's doing. You trust him.
Yep.
Or you wouldn't get on the plane.
Right. And I thought about that. I mean, but funny enough, when I go up, once I'm at the top and I'm looking at the clouds, I'm like, okay, I'm
Not
totally fine. I'm like, well, ain't jack shit I can do about it now.
Well, the thing is, when you're in the air and you look out the window, it's like you're not moving.
Yeah, it is very
But
slow.
when that plane starts to come down and you're just above the ground, that's when you go, shit.
we are
We are really moving. We're moving fast, but you don't feel that in the air.
No,
it's really weird. Just like when you look at a plane, you'll go outside and look at a plane and go, it's just sitting there, but that thing's doing 573 miles an hour.
Well, especially that big old boy that flies sometimes from the Air Force Base. That freaking
not the Dreamlifter plane.
No. I'm talking about the military one. Is it the military one? That thing comes over 26. And it looks like
that big giant thing. It blocks out the sun.
Hanging in the sky.
Yeah.
Like you're like,
now
is that
think
a
about
UFO?
it. How can that thing be up in the sky like that? As heavy as that is, that's beyond my pay grade. How we could build something
right?
like that.
Because you got to figure it's
The Wright brothers had no
jets,
idea what was going
right?
on. I mean,
jets and
they dreamed about it, but they didn't dream about that. Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I think it's all crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, but like I said, we took a flight to Ireland. We went to Ireland last
That's a long
summer.
flight.
Huh?
That's a long flight.
It wasn't terrible though. It was 8 hours in the air.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I flew to New Zealand one time. That was a
from
long flight.
DC to Ireland was 8 hours in the air, about
Okay.
8-9 hours. But it was only 5 hours. It was 5 hours forward clock time.
That time is what messes you up.
Yeah, the
that,
5
that
hours.
jet lag thing. Yeah.
So we were in the air. We had started traveling at like 7 o'clock at night. No, we left, I think, at like 5.
Right.
And we got there at what would have been 5 in the morning our time or 6 in the morning our time.
And
But
your
it was
body's
almost noon.
all messed
Yeah, it
up.
was
You
like
don't know if you're
11
coming or
a.m.
going. I know
Yeah.
that feeling.
It was wild. But
I remember being in a hotel. Where was that? In New Zealand somewhere, I think. And I called the front desk, and I said, "Man, what time is it?" She said, "It's 8 o'clock." And I said, "Morning or night?" I literally had no which 8 o'clock it was.
yeah, man.
That was so twisted. Yeah, that's crazy.
And then my son and I said he went off to
Your producer?
yeah, my producer. He went to he was in high school and he had graduated. And I said, hey man, if you're gonna go out to that party, man, I was like, don't drink. You just got your license. You want to get that thing pulled until you're 21. Do
Good
some
advice.
stupid stuff.
Good advice,
you know?
Dad.
He goes, well, I've never had a drink. He's like, I'm waiting because the legal age in Ireland is 18. I'm gonna have my first beer with you over there. I'm gonna have a Guinness with you.
Ah,
Oh my God, now I'm ready to cry. I ain't gonna lie. Whew. So we did
18 is the drinking limit.
drinking
It
age over
used to be
there.
18 here,
Yeah,
and then it went to 21.
18-year-olds are stupid, so they had to bump it up.
21-year-olds can be
21-year-olds are
stupid.
very
you know,
stupid.
let's be honest. I know 20. When I was 21, no.
Yeah, I was an
I had
idiot
no.
too.
Right, yeah, no.
Well, so he said, fine. So we did it up right. We went to the Guinness Brewery, went to St. James Gate, Dublin, went to the original Guinness Brewery, and we, you take the tour.
So it's true about the Irish and drinking.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's not just a myth. It's
No. They take, you take a tour and they give you 2 free drink passes for the rooftop. So you go up the rooftop, you're overlooking Dublin and the Wicklow Mountains on the horizon and stuff.
Nice, yeah.
And we shared our first Guinness. And it was funny because he didn't care for it too much.
My
now-
oldest son, 21, doesn't touch it.
Yeah, he
Doesn't
didn't.
touch alcohol.
He didn't care for they knew have a 0.0. They have a alcohol-free Guinness. And I tried it. Not bad. I mean, tastes
I
roughly
don't
the
understand
same.
that.
Yeah. He tried that.
If you're going to drink beer, drink beer. I
Right.
don't want a beer that tastes like a beer, but it's not a beer. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, maybe it works for some people. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I used to do a joke. This is a bad joke. But I used to go, when non-alcoholic beer first came out, I said, you heard of that non-alcoholic beer? I said, I don't understand that. That's like buying a prostitute and just playing cards with her.
right. Somebody said, I said, yeah. They said you could drink a non-alcoholic beer. No, I don't drink coffee.
Oh,
So
God.
somebody told
I
me.
got to have my coffee.
Somebody told me, why is it? I said, I can't handle the caffeine. You know, it makes me sick.
Is it caffeine? So you don't
Yeah.
drink any caffeine?
No.
No.
I could do it small.
I got.
Um,
But coffee has a lot.
a dark chocolate bar,
Coffee's got
dark
the
chocolate bar, glass of tea. I think maybe
Yeah.
like is about like some teas, but pretty much. Oh, and Coke Zeros, like
So what
sodas.
if you have caffeine? What is it? What's the effect?
makes me. It just like blinks out my nervous system, man. I
Huh.
either throw up, I get passy outy. It's
Yikes.
weird. It
Wow.
like it's too much.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it exposes.
You want a Red Bull?
Yeah, right.
That's
I don't
what
know
I
if it
drink.
exposes a whatchamacallit, arrhythmia. I don't know what it does. I'm thinking about doing that, man. Maybe I'll slam a cup of coffee while I have like my monitor hooked up to me. I'll
See
just
what
see
happens.
the EKG, see what it's doing to me.
Watch
but
it
yeah,
go up the charts. Yeah.
It doesn't agree with me.
A
So
lot of
they
people
said,
can't have that.
well,
yeah.
you can drink decaf, and then I hand them a non-alcoholic beer, and they go, never mind, I get it. Like, why would you drink? Like, you're drinking it for the taste. I think you're drinking it for the effects.
I like the effect of a cup of coffee in the morning. It just it makes me feel like someone pushed the start button. Now I'm ready to go.
right.
And if I don't have it, I feel like I'm missing something. In
Mm.
fact, I'll skip coffee sometimes, and by afternoon time, I'm not feeling right, and I go, I didn't have my coffee. I mean, literally, and I'll go get a cup of coffee at lunch just to.
Now I do have Adderall.
Yeah,
That's my
That'll
that's
work. Yeah,
my
yeah.
get
Yeah.
me going kind
Right.
of thing. I'm kind of groggy and all this stuff, and I take my first dose. I take 3 of them a day.
Really
Yeah, they're on small
prescribed
prescribed
or for what?
ADHD.
You got that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm alphabet soup, kid. Alphabet soup.
I think
Name
everybody
it.
has that.
ADHD,
but I never. When I
OCD,
had it, no one knew what it was.
PTSD.
When I was a kid, I had ADD, but they didn't know what it was. They just called me stupid.
Well, I was never treated for it ever.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went,
Self-diagnosed.
no, I went into nursing school. And
Oh, for the paramedic thing, right?
no, I was a paramedic, and then I thought, man, maybe I'll just move on, make more money. I'll
Gotcha.
do the nursing thing.
Okay.
And it just, I was struggling through the tests, and it was rough. But then I like dropped the class. I was like, I'm like 6 classes from getting my nursing degree, and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it was like just harder for me than everybody else, but also, I don't know, it just didn't feel like,
Yeah.
I just felt like I was trading up the other side of the nurses' station.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't getting out of EMS. I
Right.
was still going to see everybody I knew. It was going to be the same, just on the other side,
Mhm.
just wearing scrubs instead of Teflon-coated pants that don't fucking breathe in the summer. Forgive the F word. But anyway, so I was just like, yeah, I dropped it. But something in my brain wouldn't go back. Like, so then I had to create notes in my phone and then alarms to remind me to check my notes and to checklists. And finally, I went to the doctor. I'm like, I can't take this, dude. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Here's how much I have it. I've already forgot what you're talking about.
I said, I think I'm losing my mind.
All that technical. Yeah. Well, you
And
could
then
be.
he put me on that, and
Yeah.
life came back into and a focus I've never really had.
Yeah.
You know, like we wouldn't be able to track on
Isn't
this
Adderall
conversation.
the drug that people were selling right to the kids and stuff? And back
I
in
mean,
the day,
yeah,
back in the day,
I'm
like,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, I'm so sure that
Our kids were taking them to try to get that extra focus, right? 'Cause,
yes.
you
And they were buying them and snorting them and doing all kinds of wacky
Yeah.
stuff. I'm gonna spit on myself.
You snort yours?
No. Take them tablet form, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm God, on this whole balance of meds now. It sucks. I went from never taking a med to what was my first antidepressant or mood stabilizer, I think it was. I got that at 30, 36 maybe. Yeah, 34.
You have one of those trays now with lined up with the pills, Monday,
Yes,
Tuesday. You one of those guys?
I have to.
You look too young.
I know, right? I mean, I'm almost 50.
I'm not taking any meds, I don't think. No.
See, lucky you. Because now,
Knock on wood. I probably need
now
yeah.
I got to update because I'm filling up the one small thing.
Yeah.
So I have a three a day thing because I have the 3,
Right.
but I only have to take all of this in the morning. And then I could take my Adderall for midday and Adderall for evening. And that first one, I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. Like it's like 4 pills now and a multivitamin. I'm like, God.
I do take vitamins. Yeah, I'll take a vitamin,
Yeah, I take vitamins. I've always taken vitamins. And
On
I
a
hear
day.
it's a waste of money and you're just paying for
Well,
bright yellow
That's the
piss.
thing about vitamins. I've always wondered, because I've never done an experiment where I'll take them for 3 months and then quit for 3 months and actually see if it makes a difference. I think a lot of the vitamins is, I don't want to say placebo, but a lot of it is in your head. Well, I'm taking my vitamins,
Right.
and you feel good. And then if you don't take them, you feel like, oh, you need your vitamins, but do you? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. For me, it just feels like I've maybe told myself it helps the medicines. It kind of helps along the medicine, maybe, but I could be completely wrong. Probably completely wrong.
Just make sure you keep on taking it.
Well, I mean, I take my meds. I got, one for my moods, one for my anxiety or like depression, anxiety, one for the newest one.
Now, I just deal with all that stuff you just said. I have a lot of that.
The
I
newest
just
one
live with
is, oh, lovely.
Oh, God.
Blood pressure. I went my whole 47 years on this planet, never had an issue one with it. With big as I am.
Yeah,
and I had lost 35 pounds since the beginning of this year. Turned 47 in April, May 10th.
Yeah.
Blood pressure just
shot
up sky high, like 160s over like 1 something. I'm like, son of a.
So what do you take for that?
They put me on a low dose of losartan or something like that.
And it works.
Well, I'm been on it for 3 weeks now.
Oh,
because this was it was just May. I mean, we're just entering June. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I know how the months go.
yeah. So this episode will air in about 2 weeks, but yeah, we have a timetable. It's 3
but
weeks.
the blood
like
pressure is serious. That's
but
nothing.
It was nothing to joke around about.
Yeah.
And I think, if I've got to be honest, 15 years in emergency medical services, bad food, shit sleep.
Don't be pointing at my Cheez-Its saying
you
bad
cheat
food.
Bad food. No,
Is
I'm just
it?
joking. No.
Well, it's
not.
processed. It's all
Well, processed food, but I mean, I'm doing gas station food.
yeah.
Like
Ugh.
I mean,
That's
it's a
the
life.
worst part about traveling the road. The
It-
food you eat is horrendous.
It's a life of that, and I think it caught up with me. Thankfully, the diabetes thing has not. You know,
Yeah.
like I definitely have to start watching that because I'm pretty sure,
Right.
you know, if I don't turn shit around,
Yeah.
it's going to be bad. But yeah, it's coming to realize that I'm turning 50, and I've been taking real large sums out of the ATM, and now I got to pay it back.
Okie dokie.
I mean, that's a good
Yeah.
way to put it. I've been taking large sums. I living my life like I was invincible
Well,
for a long time.
don't we all? I mean,
Yeah, but you
know.
do it in like your 20s and maybe your 30s, but usually about 40 you start to realize. But I was pushing.
Well,
I was pushing through.
I'll let you know when I realize.
We'll
I
see.
haven't realized yet.
But
I still
mean,
live.
Look at you, dude.
Yeah, well, you know, I try to take care of myself. I work out a lot. I mean, I have
Yeah.
to. But my life is, I'm still, yeah.
Yeah.
I should be taking a little meds like you and not doing what I'm doing.
But I'm saying is like, when I had comedy in my life, when I took that away.
You still have comedy in your life.
Well, true. But when I took the constant, like the weekend, looking forward to the weekend shows.
right.
It seemed like.
Well, the party and everything that goes
life
along with
kinda,
it.
Life kind of
Mm-hmm.
started weighing me down, and I think I said to my wife, I was like, I don't know if it's my pressure's high or I've just been pulling against these cage bars so hard, you know, like because I feel like I'm kind of stuck in a place. This though has been wonderful, you know, like
beautiful.
thank you, man. I really.
I mean, I'm impressed.
I know
When
you
you
came
called
in
me to do this, I said, "Oh, we're gonna be sitting in his bathroom somewhere, you know. It's just gonna be miserable. There'll be dogs and cats running around." But I walked in there and went, "This looks like a studio."
It is. I mean, but I used to do
I've
it.
been in a few.
I used to do it out of the garage of my house, and basically.
Wayne's World.
Correct. But I knew I wanted to do an interview style.
Yeah.
I just was like, man, I like talking to people. I know a lot of interesting people, and I want people to see who they are and get to know them.
So why'd you invite me here?
Because I knew you'd be okay with dropping down to the second episode. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I'm okay.
I know you're hurt. No, but
I've been told before I'm number 2.
But
so.
when I said that, I was like, you know, my wife was like, well, then we got to make sure the house is clean all the time, like and the guest bathroom, and it was like going to be a lot of pressure.
Yeah. This is much better.
A lot of pressure on it. And meanwhile, this building has bathroom out there in the hallway if you need it, and there's parking. You know, we're not gonna. You don't have the neighbors. Don't have my dog in the other room. Cockatiel in the other room. You know, like we don't have my daughter bursting in.
What? What's that?
Cockatiel.
That's a Cocker Spaniel and a
Yeah.
What's the teal?
It's like a bluish green Cocker Spaniel.
But what is the other breed?
Teal.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. No, cockatiels are just they're like I guess they're a relative of the parrot. I don't know. They're just
Parrot.
Yeah, they're the birds that are like gray. They usually have like the yellow
wait a minute.
head.
We're talking about a bird?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about a dog.
No.
That's what I meant. What is a cockatiel?
I thought we were working on a bit together. I was like,
no,
you really don't
that's
know
why
what
I said Cocker Spaniel, which is a dog. I thought you were talking about a dog or cockatiel.
Cockatiel.
That's a bird.
It's a bird. The ones that have they have like the white and gray bodies.
I don't have birds, man.
Like
I don't do birds.
And then they have that
I don't
red,
like anything that can fly.
the red circle on the cheek. You never seen them with the little red circles and shit?
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, it's loud.
I'm not
as
a
hell.
bird guy. You either,
This bird,
I don't know.
bird
You have to clip the
squawks.
wings on the bird?
Whoever owned it before we did, it was a coworker. I think they did.
Because a buddy of mine told me that when I first heard that. He goes, "Yeah, I got to clip the wings." And I was like, "So he doesn't fly away?" I said, "That's not a pet. That's a prisoner."
Yeah.
That's like someone going, "You like my new dog?" Yeah, to saw off his front legs to keep him from running away from him.
Right.
His name's Wheelie.
You got to dock his paws.
Yeah, but no, the birds. I'm not. A buddy of mine had a bird, and he would let the bird out, and it would fly around the house. And every time it came near me, I would just freak out. I don't know what it is because they're so fast and just, and I don't like that.
We do let her out from time to time to, like, we'll let the dog out in the backyard, and then we'll let her out.
In the yard?
No, the dog.
Oh,
The dog goes
now
in
we're
the
talking
yard.
about dogs.
Yeah. Now we're back to
I
the
gotta
dog.
keep your animals straight. I was gonna say you let your bird out in the yard.
No,
With a string, maybe
she
like
annoys
a kite.
me so much. I
You
wish.
could tie
I
a
wish you
string.
could let her out. I said, man, one day I even threatened her. I was like, one day I'm gonna let you out. But then my luck, she'll go right out the back door, right around the front door, and get hit by like a car right in front of our house. And then my daughter will come home and see our dead bird, and I'll be like, oh
Not
man.
good.
therapy.
But do you let the bird fly around the house every night?
Yeah, she'll fly around. She usually settles back on the top of her cage.
Yeah.
There's like a little ladder and like stuff like that. But every now and again, she likes to go up on the ceiling fan if it's not running.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's best if it's not running.
All you got to worry about though, right? All you got to worry about though is, thankfully, when she puts the weight on it, it keeps the blades out over the open part of the, over the living room and not over the coffee table.
Yeah.
Because every now and again, or an egg.
Yeah.
So it's like, Lisa's not going to do it on the table. It's going to do it out in the open part. But we have laminate floors, so we're good.
I don't understand birds. I don't get it.
I don't know. This is the first time I've ever owned one, and I don't really care for it.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
You put it in a cage, and you just look at it.
Yes.
I don't get it.
She squawks all the time, and I told my wife, I was like, we could have just adopted a kid to like blow a kazoo in the corner or something. Like at least that thing might hug you once.
Exactly.
I was like, that's just ridiculous. It's just a noisemaker. We
What's your bird's
adopted a noisemaker, Bobby.
Bobby.
They were
It's
nicknamed. It's a she. They were nicknamed. We had two of them at one time. It was Bobby and Baby passed away.
Oh.
So, and Baby was kind of the cooler one. So I kind of regret like that it wasn't Bobby. I know it sounds terrible.
The producer's shaking the head.
Yeah, he agrees. Like Baby would have been cool. Like Baby would have been the one to sit on your
Were they the same
shoulder
type of
or
birds?
something. Yeah. They're twins.
Related?
Not twins. I don't know if they were related, but they had different colors, a little bit different like colors, but they were the same breed.
Yeah.
And Baby got an infection and just died. But the freaking thing is, Bobby, she hiss at you and bite at you until she flies out of the cage. She gets herself somewhere stuck that she don't know how to get away from.
Yeah.
Like she gets like on the mantle, like, oh crap, or up on the curtain
Yeah,
rod.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then you put your hand up and she hops on your hand like, thanks.
Yeah.
It's like, here, did you reach in the crate? You reach in the bird cage to go let her out and she'll bite you?
Come on.
I was like, squeeze her till
Fair
she
weather
pops.
friend there.
Yeah, not a pet.
You have any pictures?
I don't want to break them out. I don't take
I was
pictures of her.
joking. I was
I don't
joking,
take
Ben.
pictures of her at all. You have pictures?
Ben, I'm joking. I really don't want to see pictures of your bird.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a pretty bird.
And we have a cat.
Pretty bird. There you go. Cat. There's
So-
a normal animal. How's the cat get along with the bird?
Cat is petrified of the bird. Every time the bird comes out, cat runs upstairs. So we're very lucky in that regard.
Yeah, because I thought cats normally go after the bird.
Yeah, our cat does not.
Traditionally speaking.
The dog will.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Wow.
dog, he's a Labrador pit mix.
Oh, wow.
And he'll go right after the bird. So that's why he's got to be in the
Labrador
backyard.
pit.
Yeah, pitador.
Pitador.
He looks like a lab. If you look at him, he looks like a kind of like a
Pit
golden
bull.
lab.
You got a pit bull and a meth lab
Yeah,
combined.
meth lab, exactly. He looks like a Labrador, but he's shorter.
Yeah.
And he's got a wider rib cage and that fat head with the ridge, like
Yeah,
a pit.
Right.
But like to look at him, it's like, oh, he's cute. And then you go, what else is going on with that dog? And then when I tell you that, you go, oh, okay. But he's super sweet.
You got
He's-
ADHD too?
Yeah, he does. No, he's super sweet, and he's a good dog.
All righty.
Name is Jake.
That's a good name.
That's a great name.
Jake. I like that.
You remember Jake and the Fat Man?
I remember Jake from State Farm.
Yeah. Yep. And that's changed. Jake has been like 2 or 3 different people.
My ex has a Chihuahua. She went through
Oh,
this Chihuahua
God.
stage. She just wanted a Chihuahua so bad. I'm like, I don't get it, but she got this little Chihuahua named Pepe. He's a good little fella, but it's a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
They're
They
just-
idle like they got a broken mount somewhere in them. They're
They
just
got something off, man. They shake a lot. Like, I guess he's so small. If you are that big, everything is.
oh, huge.
Yeah, you're scared of everything, you know.
And
that's
we
how-
don't know if their sight is like convex or convex, like if it's like, you know what I'm talking about? Like if they talk to you, is it like you're, like you're looking at like an orb?
I
or
don't know
something?
how they know that a dog supposedly can't see color, right? They see
I've
black
never
and white.
I've never figured
How do
that
they
one out.
figure that out?
Maybe
I guess
something about
because- I'll tell you
dissecting the eyeball.
It's probably a simple reason. Whatever it is in your eye that gives you the color, they figure that out.
Yeah, cones.
Dogs
I
don't
believe.
have it. It's
Yeah,
as
they
simple
don't
as
have
that.
cones.
They don't have it. Yeah.
Rods and cones. I think cones are
How
color and
boring would
rods
that
are
be
black
to
and
see
white.
black and white? That'd be like, I don't know. Be like watching an old movie every day of your life.
Well, right, but they don't know any different. I mean, for
know.
us, that would suck. Well, for me, it would just be like I live in Clerks, which I'm totally fine with. This Clerks was a black
Yep.
and white
That's right.
movie, and Yeah, to take it back to the boat.
Now we're back, everybody.
Now we're back.
Full circle.
We went off on a tangent, but we're back. Yeah, man. I just let's see. What can we kick it over to now? I don't know. We just flow, dude. You said that too.
How about the thing I brought to give you to put on it? We could talk about that. Or not
heck
yet?
Yeah. No. We can do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Because you told me, you said, bring something. You like to put it on your shelf from all your guests,
Picture right there. Yeah. That was from Andy Forster. He drew
that.
That's the villain or the monster from Jeepers Creepers.
Okay.
And he drew that with colored pencil. Not that particular one. That's a print of a drawing.
Okay, my gift is not nearly that good. Why do you got to bring that up? Turn that around. I brought you, this is kind of cool. Speaking of the cruise ships, I work for Norwegian Cruise Lines as well.
Okay.
And sometimes on that ship, some of their ships, the guest entertainers we get put on the crew manifest. We're considered crew members.
Right.
Which we don't have to do anything, it's just like being a passenger, but it's just the way the ship is.
You bust the tables.
Yeah. No, we don't do any of that crap. But yeah, we're considered. So in the crew area, if we're in a crew area, they give you a badge you have to wear, a pin that has your name. And that way all the other crew members know, okay, that guy belongs here, But when you go out in the public, you take it out. You don't have to wear it. So I brought, because I have them laying all over the place. Yes, this is from Norwegian Crew. It says they wrote my name wrong. They wrote J. Rollin Moore instead of Rollin Jay Moore. Guest entertainer, United States Norwegian Cruise Lines. How about that?
That is awesome.
So I brought you that. Yeah, you can.
I like that.
So if you ever go on Norwegian, you can take that and you can get into the careers. Go to that bar and get
That's funny,
crew
J. Rollin Moore.
Yeah, I got a big laugh when I saw that. I went, it's Rollin Jay Moore. But
put that right there in front of the. I think it'll prop up against the Game Boy. Maybe. Nah. All right.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
I will figure it out at another time.
But there you go, man. How about that?
Yeah, I'll figure it out. It's got a magnet.
I just messed up the mic. No, we're
you're
good.
fine.
Yeah, it has a magnet.
See if it'll stick to the lunchbox. You'll be a part of They Live. You remember They Live?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
Yeah.
I came here to do two things: entertain cruise guests and chew bubble gum.
There you
and
go,
I'm all
man.
out of bubble gum. Roddy Piper, God rest his soul. That was a good movie.
Classic.
I saw that in theater, and then I saw it at home. And when I saw it at home, I was a teen. I was like young. I was like 12, maybe.
Right.
My mom was like, "There's boobs in this." I'm like, "Yeah." It was like right at the end, right at the very end when everything was exposed.
First boob I ever saw on TV, when I was a kid was when I'm showing my age now. When HBO first came out, and me and my younger brother were watching Piranha. It was a movie about piranhas attacking people.
Okay.
It was a stupid movie, whatever. And there was one scene in the water, and this girl's getting eaten, and I think it popped out for maybe that quick.
Yeah.
And me and my brother, oh, boob, oh, boob, oh, boob, oh, boob. And that's all we remembered about that movie. Was seeing that boob in the water with the fish eating her. And yeah, it was pretty bad. But how about that?
I want to say the first
HBO. That was HBO 1980 something or 70.
First
late
one
70s.
I saw would have been in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Was there a boob in there?
Yeah, you could.
I have to go back and watch it.
I think you could make it out when she was being drugged up. When she was being,
you can make it out,
like drug up the wall or whatever.
Oh, wait a minute.
Or she was in the
I remember
plastic.
that. The shirt came up or something.
Yeah, something like that. Or she was naked or something. Her and her boyfriend.
Now
were
we
in bed.
finally get to some good conversations by the end of this.
Because I saw Nightmare on Elm Street when I think I was like 6 or 7, and my cousins, I had older cousins who were able to watch it. And I was like, I want to see it. I want to see it. And my mom said, "All right, but if you have nightmares, you can't come in my room." And I said, "Okay, deal." And man, the glove's right there.
I had the worst nightmares when I was a kid. My mom and dad would not let me watch.
Would not have.
I was bad. Every night.
Yeah, see,
I don't know what caused that. They said no more scary movies for you. I mean, that was it.
See, that started an obsession for horror movies.
Yeah.
With me, I mean, I saw that one on home video, saw 2 on home video, saw 3 on home video. Then I started begging. I begged my uncle to take me to see 4 in the theater. My stepdad at the time had taken me to see 5 in the theater. I mean, I was
That's
like,
your thing.
Oh, well, Freddy particularly.
What's your favorite all-time horror movie?
I would have to say in Nightmare on Elm Street, but
what about the classics, man? Like The Exorcist or
I think Nightmare on Elm Street would be up there. I really like Friday the 13th. I think I like the Stalker, the Mike Myers.
Yeah.
I like the Child's Play. So I think okay, I was a fan of the ones where you kind of partially are rooting for the villain. Do you know what I'm saying?
Boy. This guy's showing
Because
a dark side over here.
because they're more interesting. Yeah, I mean, like Freddy would
Yeah.
kill you based on like your own vices.
Yeah.
Like if you liked drugs, like you were a drug addict, he would have like a thing with the syringes instead of the knives.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like,
yeah,
inject
yeah,
you in. It's like that's clever. It's like neat.
That's a good psychology.
Yeah, I think I liked those kinds of things. Like Scream. That was one that we later, when it came out when I think I was maybe like 17 or 18,
Mhm.
but it was of my time. It was high school kids getting butchered, and I
Yeah.
just maybe gotten out of high school.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, so
Classic.
this is like if I were a teenager when
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street came out, and I was
I haven't
really
seen
invested.
a good scary movie in years. I couldn't. And they don't really scare me much anymore these days.
They don't either, and I think they've kind of gotten hokey. I have a nephew who asked me to take him to horror movies all the time, and I've not been impressed with one in a very long time.
They just don't make them like they used to.
No, they don't. And
I get tired of the part 2, the part 3, the part 4. It's like when it gets so far down there, a lot of them just kind of lose their luster for me.
yeah.
Although I thought the Halloween one was pretty good with the last Halloween,
Well,
which that they shot in Charleston.
okay,
Right?
the
Yeah.
first one they shot in Charleston. They did a trilogy.
Oh, I didn't know.
The second and third one were shot in, I think, Wilmington.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was Halloween Lives, Halloween Ends, I think was that.
Yeah,
And
I
then
just remember the Halloween part, but yeah.
yeah,
I thought that was pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, man, all the places around here. That was Danny McBride's production.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he produced the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
He will be in this chair too.
I'll be darned.
He lives around here.
But I'm here first.
Yeah. Oh, you can tell everybody
Second.
that too.
Second. First.
They'll be like,
Second.
hey man, he got Danny McBride. Let me tell you something. Danny McBride was what guest? Like what, 23, 30? Number two. Telling you. You'll have a badge of honor. When the celebrities, the local celebrities. See, I would have loved to have started this when Righteous Gemstones was still filming and trying to get John Goodman and trying to get.
That'd be cool.
But being the Danny McBride lives in, being the Danny McBride lives in the Charleston area, I think he's down maybe on Johns Island or something like that. To get him, just as well. But one of them, somebody is going to break this thing wide open for me. I'll get that one big fish, and then everybody else will be like, oh, they did it? Now I want to do it.
You'll have them lining up down the hallway waiting
That's
to get
what I'm
in.
saying, man.
Yeah.
I'll have to film like 5 episodes in a day.
I mean, I came here just for the Cheez-Its, to be honest. But
yeah.
like if that bowl one here, I don't know.
I said, what do you want to drink? And you said,
vodka Red Bull.
Vodka Red Bull. I said, okay.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know if the landlord here from our studio wants us to have alcohol on the premises.
Yeah.
I said, so we can do Red Bulls without. And I was always going to match what my, co-stars, what my
So if I had vodka
interviewees-
Red Bull, you'd have to have a vodka Red Bull.
I was going to dump the can out and fill it with water.
I was going to say, we already had that talk about the caffeine with you. That wouldn't be
I
good.
totally was going to do
Although
that.
it might make for a good episode.
God, that would be terrible. Just be like,
I shouldn't drink that, but I do, man. That's my poison, man. Vodka Red Bull. I don't know. I just love that. You know what's weird? I don't like Red Bull by itself.
Oh, okay.
You give me a can of Red Bull, yeah. Vodka, I don't like vodka by itself. You put them together, that's my drink.
Just magical.
They just go together.
I am
two
a
peas in a pod.
Guinness is my beer, and then
See, Guinness is too heavy.
I'm a fan of whiskey and bourbon.
Oh yeah,
I love me a whiskey. I love me a bourbon.
But Guinness, it's heavy. That's a heavy beer.
Yeah,
I could have one. That's it.
I think it's.
I wouldn't want to drink Guinness after Guinness.
But it's nitro.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So I think your pilsners, your all the other ones are like carbonated, so it's a lot of air to them. Whereas Guinness is nitro, real tiny bubbles. So I think it's just
the beer over here.
The volume, the feeling of the volume of liquid.
Right.
So like you're definitely drinking more liquid than carbonation.
Gotcha.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because I can drink.
Well, I used to be a beer drinker all the time, and then all of a sudden now, any beer now, I'll have a light beer now, and I feel like, bleh, I feel just bloated.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know. I need to quit drinking is what I should do, but not today.
Not today.
No.
See, we should have done
day.
this. We should have done vodka Red Bulls, man. What
That's
are
all
we
right.
doing?
I'll be
with
back.
ourselves?
I'll be back.
Yeah, you should be. Actually, you know what? You watch Buzz, but I don't have any notifications because you told me to turn it off. But yeah, you will definitely be back. I
Yeah.
mean, I will have you back
This is good. Are you
anytime, my
kidding me?
friend.
Yes, sir, man.
Anytime.
Love it. This is nice.
And I love that you brought me something with your name on it. I hope
That's
everybody
kind of cool.
figures
That's
that
a
out.
unique gift. Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, bring me your your first CD.
Because I thought about it. Well, I thought about that, and I couldn't. I don't have any, and I'm like, what am I going to take? I have nothing. And I said, I know what'll be cool, and there you go, man.
Very cool, man.
Jay Rollin Moore.
Jay Rollin, and they forgot the apostrophe too.
I know.
People are gonna think, what did what did his parent? What was his parents thinking with a middle name like that?
Yeah.
But if you put the apostrophe, then you kind of get that it's a nickname.
Yeah. Right.
Because it's like nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, certain people will do that. I think my sister, actually, my nephew, I think his middle name is LaShawn with an apostrophe.
I'll tell you a true story real quick. The Jay Moore thing when I was in California. I can't tell you how many times I gone to a comedy club and they thought it was Jay Moore, the other Jay Moore.
Right.
And a lot of times the club owner would say, hey, someone said they know you or they saw you before and want to meet you or whatever. And I'd go out and they go, you're not Jay Moore. It happens all the time. All the time. So I meet Jay Moore at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles.
Right.
And I told him that story. I told him why I go by Rollin Jay Moore. I'm Jay Moore. And I said, and all the time people think it's you. And he goes, well, you're not going to believe this. He goes, he was in Miami somewhere one time. And someone said, hey, I know Jay Moore. And he goes, oh, you're not Jay Moore. It was someone that knew me.
That is cool.
He said that happened one time. And I said, yeah, one time. I said, every club I go to, it happens the other way around. People thinking I'm him. I mean, yeah, it's just, oh, man. But
well, I like Big Ben Kennedy is what I went by from starters, And I tried to drop it and just be Ben Kennedy because a lot of bookers.
Well, you were just Ben Kennedy at one time. Now you're Big Ben Kennedy.
Oh no, I've always been big kid.
Always
been big. Oh yeah, I've always tallest. I'm the biggest person in my family. I'm taller than everybody. A lot of times they ask if I'm adopted. 6'3".
Wow, that's up there, man.
So they turn around and I went Big Ben Kennedy, and weirdly enough, I didn't like people would come up to me, bookers, when they booked me, and they go, "Oh, you're white," and I go, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I said, "Our nicknames."
Thank you for noticing.
I said, "Are nicknames like that exclusive to black comics?"
Yeah.
And they were just like, "Well, I've never really met a white comic." So I wondered if you got that with a Rollin, because they always assume that if you have a nickname,
the Rollin part,
name,
they just assume I'm a stoner. I'm gonna be high all the time.
Some white hippie.
And I don't even smoke weed anymore.
Right.
I quit hours ago.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is the names, they get them confused, and it's like,
sometimes things just stick,
Yeah, true.
And that's the way it is.
Because I was
Whether
like,
it
well,
applies
Big Jay Okerson, he's white, I was
Big
like,
Jay, I know that guy.
but apparently nicknames or superlatives,
Yeah.
they're reserved
That's a big
for
word.
African American or black comics.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I didn't know that, but I don't know if it ever denied me a gig. It just was always kind of shocking to some people.
Oh, you're white.
That I was white. Oh, you're a white comic. I'm like, yeah, I'm a funny one too. I think,
Yeah.
You're
white. I'm sorry. Did you order a different brand?
Did you order a different model?
Yeah, this is who you got. Yeah.
Sorry. Timu wasn't a thing, or there's a joke in it for you right there.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Man. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up. We're
man.
sitting about the hour. And look, here's why we're going to wrap it up. Because we're going to do this again real soon.
Yes, sir.
So
That's right.
I will make sure I write a note down on a Post-it note of where we left off. We'll just continue right where we left off.
That sounds perfect.
That's
yes,
it,
sir.
Man.
Well,
Everybody, this was Rollin Jay Moore. You can find him on social media under Rollin Jay Moore. And do you have a website? No, screw websites. He said, psh,
I'm old school.
Yeah.
I got a business
Forget
card.
your HTTPS,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
So anyway, find him on social media, Rollin Jay Moore, everybody. And thank you for snacking and yakking with me.
Always.
We out.
Yes, sir.
So many snacks. So many snacks. Hi. Well, thank you for watching another episode of Snackin and Yakkin. Do you want to be one of these names scrolling up the screen right now? Or maybe one of these photos in the frame right here? Well, it's very simple. You just join our Patreon. That's patreon.com/snackinyakkin. Membership levels start at $5 and go up to $15. And there's more perks the higher that you go. And let's face facts, you'd probably spend $5 on Starbucks or Subway next month anyway, right? But for your membership, it helps this show go. So thank you so much for stopping by patreon.com/snackinyakkin. And now, consider watching one of these two videos right here and going through the channel because there's plenty of show to go. And thank you for coming with me on my journey as I do some more